But before that, the government faces a legal challenge over its decision to cut investment in walking and cycling in England. Targets set under Boris Johnson's government said that half of all urban journeys should be taken on foot or on a bicycle by 2030. But earlier this year, the Transport Secretary Mark Harper announced a 50% cut to the funding for active travel in England, leaving campaign groups fearful over the government's commitment to the climate. Ed Lamb from the Transport Action Network, who's launched legal action against the government, joins me now. Ed, just 2 weeks ago, the government announced, I think, 200 million for cycling and walking schemes. Does it reverse the damage done by the 50% funding cut back in March this year? What exactly is going on?
No, it doesn't really, Mariella. Thanks for having me on. We need long-term investment. I mean, I guess we kind of lurching from little pockets of money to little pockets of money. What we need is long-term planning here. The cuts announced in March basically equate to a £1 per person in England outside of London. Investment in Wales, they're getting about £17 a head, and in Scotland, £34 a head. And that's the amount, the kind of level we need across the country, really, to kind of kickstart a real revolution in active travel. So
does it give you the sense that environmental policies are largely based on sort of political expediency and hot air? I mean, are you questioning the government's commitment to radically changing transport, creating a transport revolution, which is, I think, what you're committed to?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that is the case, really. I mean, I'm not a legal expert, by the way, but we do have legal experts that have kind of, we're on solid ground. We think we're using a bit of a loophole, or not a loophole. There's a 2015 law which was put through government or through Parliament, which says that a government has to have a cycling and walking investment strategy. And from that strategy, you get kind of objectives. And from those objectives, you need funding. So now what's happened in March, the Secretary of State has basically bypassed, we think, that law, really. And, if we're going to have a long-term plan to, heading towards 2050 being net zero, then we need consistent funding for this kind of thing. And the great thing is about investing in walking and cycling is that it's not just a cost. It's an amazing thing to invest in because the payback is massive, so it's a bit strange to see what's going on.
So do you think that you've lost your best champion now that Boris the bicyclist has retired from public office?
Maybe, yeah, I know he's a bit of a love and hate him character. I won't go into which side I fall on, but, from his time as Mayor of London, you could sense that he did understand the issue and the kind of the massive payback and return that it can have on society, whether it's around clean air and pollution and public health, that kind of thing, and road safety. It's just such a no-brainer to invest in. So it's really frustrating to see kind of backward steps being taken.
Thank you very much for joining me. That was Ed Lamb from the Transport Action Network. Coming up, we're going to be on the